What's up, Navigating Academia family? This is your buddy and personal academic mentor, Dr. J. Phoenix Singh, coming at you with another reaction video. My response videos seem to be doing pretty well in terms of you guys enjoying them, commenting on them, and so forth. So I figure I'll keep this going as an ongoing series, especially because I really love to be able to highlight other YouTubers who are doing a great job here in kind of this little academia space. And we really want to support not just channels that have been around for a long time, but relatively newer channels, which have a few thousand subscribers and that we hope are going to grow and become really, really big themselves. So today we're going to be highlighting a video from Professor Hall here. Her video's title is What Happens When You Leave the Room After Your Dissertation Defense? Which is a great question. This is something that I certainly always wondered, especially when I was, scared-ish-less when it was about time for me to be able to defend my own doctoral dissertation. Now remember, I've got two doctorates, right? So the first one's from Oxford in psychiatry, and the second one is in clinical psychology from University of Constance. I can tell you that my second one at Constance was way easier because I already knew exactly what to expect. But remember that kind of what happens in terms of this whole process is really fundamentally different in the US and Canada than it is in other countries like in Western Europe, like in the UK, for example, or in Germany. So I thought it would be really cool to be able to do a reaction video to someone who is based in the United States. So this professor is in Colorado, and what I figured I would do is we'll go ahead and play it. I will give you guys my real-time reactions. I can tell you guys in terms of what happened when I personally left the room for my own doctoral dissertation, because I was told that I would sit outside for X number of minutes, they would discuss and debate and give me any revisions, then I would go inside and they would basically give me a little list of here are the things that we want you to focus on, and then they said that they would email myself and my supervisor a list of these preferred changes, and I would need to come up with itemized responses and also have a track changes and a clean copy of my doctoral dissertation, so kind of like almost very similar to peer review for a journal article. And when they told me that and they told me I could leave, I'm not kidding, I literally, in my little Oxford sub-fusk with the little bow tie and everything, right, I booked it. I ran as fast as I could down the street, and there was a little modern furniture store, and I ran in there and I went into this chair section and basically just like hid within these chairs. And I always tell people this story. They're like, "Oh, Dr. Singh, you were so excited. You were so excited that you successfully passed this thing." And I say, no, I wasn't super excited. I was just trying to make sure that if they did have additional questions, that they wouldn't be able to even find me, to be able to pull me back in, to be able to ask me additional questions. Okay, and that's the truth of the matter. All right, so anyway, that's the UK system though. Let's go ahead and hear what this wonderful professor has to say about her experiences. Let's take a look.
You know that part in the dissertation defense where the candidate has to leave the room? What's going on and what do we talk about? I'm sharing that with you right now. Hi everybody, I'm Lee Hall from teachingacademia.com, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to navigate academia to make your best impact. Today we're talking about what happens at that really weird part in the dissertation defense where you are asked to step out. Everybody's asked to step out, right? Except for the committee. What are we saying about you behind closed doors? I'm going to open that up and demystify that for you right now. So first of all, the obvious. We're deciding, did you pass? Did you fail? Probably if you came to the defense, unless you really blew it apart, right? During the actual defense itself, you probably didn't fail. But
Professor Hall is right on this one. The likelihood that you're going to fail after you get to that point is relatively low. You guys can watch other videos on my channel where I do talk about some reasons why people do fail doctoral defenses or master's defenses. And there are reasons why. For the most part, if your supervisor has done their job, or if you're in the US and you've got a committee and your committee has done their job, then it's something where this should kind of be a foregone conclusion, and it's almost like a celebration of all the hard work that you've put in. But it is still a very high stakes, high risk, not high risk, a high pressure rather, situation for you to be in.
You have to have revisions, okay? So that's the initial discussion. The committee chair is going to make sure that everybody's on the same page in terms of this person's passing, we don't really think they need revisions, or this person's passing, but they're going to need some revisions, or this person's not passing. Okay, we're going to get that taken care of first thing, make sure we're all in agreement on that. Next up, we're going to be clarifying
Very good. And keep in mind also that just because you have revisions does not mean that you've got some subpar dissertation. Okay, getting revisions, it's almost like when you think about the major outcomes when you submit a journal article for publication, and it's accept with no revision, accept with minor revision, major revision, revise and resubmit, or rejection, right? The thing is that if you get accept with major revision, that doesn't mean that just because your piece is said to need major revision, that it's some awful article. It's accept with major revision, okay? It's not revise and resubmit where it's not formally accepted. It's formally accepted provided that you make those changes, right? That's a great outcome. So I don't want you to feel like if you get a whole bunch of comments, and I'm talking about pages and pages of comments on little tiny things, or them requesting a new analysis here or a little new piece there in the discussion section where you talk more about the limitations, whatever it happens to be, right? Congratulations, you've gotten to the end of that process. I don't want you guys to be super stressed out about that, because the most stressful part, you're already through.
What are the revisions? So as you defended, your committee chair likely took notes about things that were important to people, things that maybe didn't seem to get addressed, or that, you know, as you were answering the question, the committee chair realized it's probably not fully addressed in writing in the actual written part of the dissertation. So your committee chair has a bunch of notes. Your committee chair is going to make sure that all the members get heard, and all members are going to get to express what they think needs to happen in terms of revision, okay? And your chair is going to document that for you. Then they're also going to come up with a plan for revisions, most likely. Sometimes this can happen in a couple of ways. Sometimes your chair will meet with you afterwards or very soon after the defense to help you lay out a plan for your revisions, all right?
Yeah, so my plan was, I think within one calendar week, my supervisor and I, doctoral supervisor and I at Oxford, ended up getting the formal comments back, and they really weren't that bad. I'm sure you can understand, like, I just want to knock those things out. So just as hard as possible, I just, I was on the grind for about a week, got everything kind of changed, done, and I basically, we were ready to rock. We were ready to go at that stage. So it didn't take that long to get the comments back, and my supervisor, obviously, after I made all the changes, wanted to take his time to be able to take a look, make sure that everything was okay, because at that stage, it's not just about you, it's also about your supervisor, right? And you want to make sure that you don't just blow through everything and then submit it without kind of getting the green light from everybody who's involved in this process, okay?
Okay, talk about how they think you should go about accomplishing them, when, etc. Who's going to review the revisions, okay? Is this going to be, sometimes they go to the committee chair, all right? If you don't have a lot of revisions and nothing very serious, then typically the other members of your committee are going to trust the chair to handle all the revisions, to read what you did, and say, yes, this is what you were done, okay?
Okay, so I know the audio is a little bit patchy here, and some of the comments on the video, it's mentioning patchy audio, but it's only really for this brief period. The professor's done a great job in terms of explaining things so far. She makes the right point. She's absolutely correct in terms of, it's just like I was having this conversation yesterday with actually one of you guys in terms of a one-on-one academic coaching consult, and you guys were asking me, okay, so, kind of who gets what say when an article is accepted for publication, but there's some revisions that are requested, right? Making the changes and then sending it back out to everybody. Who's going to give the green light? Arguably, everybody should have a say, but the fact of the matter is that usually people are really busy, and usually they're not getting paid anything when it comes to reviewing doctoral dissertations or master's theses and these things. It's just part of their job, or they're even doing somebody a favor. And so because of that, a lot of the times people may, make one little comment or even just write back and be like, oh, looks great, well done, Peter, or well done, Janice, or, whatever it is. But like, that's all that they'll say. And they won't have looked at it again. They'll just have trusted that all the changes have been made, and that whoever the committee chair is, or in the US, whoever the supervisor is, they've kind of made sure that everything is clean and clear and all set to go. Because people are just crazy, crazy busy. And it's really funny how that works, that people who serve this massive gatekeeper function, after you're kind of through the gate, they're kind of like, okay, you're through the gate. Stop bothering me, right? That really does happen in practice in academia.
Sometimes if you have more serious revisions, then in fact, one person on your committee that you need to work with who has expertise in that area, you're going to want to see your revisions in addition to the chair, All right.
Okay, so I know it's a little bit hard to hear there, but what the professor is saying is that in some cases you may have people on your committee who have a very specific area of expertise. Maybe somebody who's a really big expert in your area of statistical analysis, right, that you used, where if you made changes, nobody else on the committee is actually going to be able to understand what's up. And so because of that, that one committee member should chime in there, but they don't have to chime in on everything, just on those comments on that form of statistical analysis.
But your committee chair will clarify with everybody, do you want to see any of these revisions or not, okay? And then you will work with your committee chair to make a plan in terms of understanding who you need to work with to get the revisions done and when is the deadline, et cetera. So you'll have a clear plan going forward. And then finally, there's going to be a decision about how the committee is going to sign off on you. Sometimes they go ahead and they sign, everybody signs your paper that day except for the committee chair.
So if you guys don't understand kind of what's going on, it's definitely possible that at certain universities there is literally a physical document that people need to sign that says that you passed or didn't pass, whatever. It's almost like a frickin' jury, right? So it's like you're in court and you have to say something, right? So this is entirely possible that everybody would kind of need to physically sign off. So that's what the professor's talking about here.
If revisions are pending, sometimes people won't sign until they've seen the revisions and it looks good. So there'll be a plan in place for that as well, and your chair will communicate that for you. But that's what we're talking about when we kick you out of the room. It's not that bad. It's to support you. And if you like what you see in this video and you want to see more, follow me on over. Let's go to the next one.
Awesome. Great video. Tremendous job to this YouTuber. All right, guys, that's what I've got for you today. Really appreciate you joining me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.